The World Federation of United Nations Association is a global network of people from over 100 UN associations and has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Kyunghee University in Korea to launch a 2-week camp program this summer. And joining us to tell us more is Secretary-General Bonian Golmohammadi. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Now, tell us more about your organization and what brought you to Korea this time around.
Well, WFUNA, as we call ourselves, because World Federation of UN Associations is very long. So we are basically a people's movement for a stronger, more effective United Nations. So the UN itself is for member states. And our organization, the basic philosophy is, the global issues that the United Nations is working with is too important to leave only to governments. So people have to get involved. So individuals and organizations, those are the ones we work with to create a more stronger, more effective UN.
Secretary General, most average people, they might not associate themselves with world organizations. So they can't, just the average person can join. And how can they do that?
Absolutely. We have United Nations associations in more than 100 countries. And of course, we try to establish more UNAs in countries that don't yet have one. But individuals as well as organizations can become members. They can become active in promoting some global issue or the United Nations itself through their UN associations that do a lot of work on information, awareness raising, advocacy work for the UN.
And tell us about the summer program you have this summer.
Well, here we're very excited. We have a new memorandum of understanding, as you said, signed with Kyunghee University. One of our important target groups is young people. So this will be high school students who will come for 2 weeks and intensive training at the Kyunghee camp on Model UN, on debating. They will learn about global issues. They will learn also negotiation, diplomacy, and certain skills that are important if you want to become active in international affairs.
And you work with another university in Korea, Sookmyung University.
Exactly. We also have another program that is for students to come to New York or Geneva, where we have an advanced training at the UN. It's a 1-week intensive training where they come, they get to meet UN diplomats, other non-governmental organizations, UN Secretariat staff. They will learn about a whole variety of UN issues, and they will also get some, practical training. How do you develop a project if you want to do something when you come back home? They get career advice if you want to get into international or global issues work. What do you study? How do you study? How do you create a career for you in that area?
So it's a sneak peek at the UN and how it works and what it deals with.
That's right. So if you are interested in international affairs, and if there is a person, an individual who's interested in going out and seeing the world and learning about how things are done in the world, then this might be the best thing to do. Now, for these aspiring young people out there who are actually hoping to be a part of world organizations such as the UN, what can they do, and how do you think they should proceed with this?
Well, one thing is, of course, that they should contact their local UN association. There's a UNA ROK here in Korea. They have lots of good activities. And through UNA ROK and also through our programs directly here in Korea, there's a good opportunity for young people to get involved. They can get training, they can participate in seminars, they can go to our youth camp. We have collaborations both with university level, with Kyunghee and Sookmyung, as you said, and also another NGO here, Hope to the Future, for high school students to come to New York and Geneva. So we try to reach out to many different ages with different types of programs.
And you are currently in contact with other organizations for future partnerships. What are some of the works?
Absolutely. I mean, we are here to create more collaborations, of course, with educational institutions, universities, as well as high school entities, but also other NGOs and businesses. Korea is becoming so much more global and so much more influential in international affairs, and we see a great interest on the part of young people here to get more engaged. So we're trying to establish different partnerships so that we can have more activities both here in Korea, but also for Koreans in other countries.
And you said this is a non-profit organization. So how do you talked about some fundraising events that you do to raise funds, and tell us more about some of the things that you do to raise funds.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are, as all other NGOs, always looking out for partnerships and fundraising, and we are very fortunate because here in Korea, our president is Korean. President Ambassador Park Soo-gil.
Right.
So we have a natural connection with Korea, and we've been very grateful that the Korean government has sponsored us with some core funding. Also other governments like Sweden and Finland. But primarily most of our money comes from individual donors. Just private individuals or foundations or partnerships with companies. So depending on the project and depending on the activity and depending on where we do that activity, we try to look for funds that match that.
Great. So if any of our viewers want to take part, what can they do specifically?
Well, they can go to our website, WFUNA.org,
Okay.
Where we have lots of information. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and of course UNA ROK here in Korea. So there are many, many different opportunities to get engaged.
All right. Thank you, Secretary-General Golmohammadi, for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.